On this episode of China Uncensored, the 50-cent Brigade. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Today I'm going to talk about something very important. Now, you may have been hearing all kinds of crazy rumors about China, like the government suffering from systemic corruption, rampant human rights abuses, or that Peng Liyuan is the best-dressed first lady. Oh wait, that last one is a fact. But before you say, we really should do something to help Tibetans so they stop self-immolating, let me just remind you of something. Iraq. Yeah, remember that war? How many people have America killed? I mean, yes, those Chengguang are on a rampage, but what's so good about democracy? The US government is in shutdown. China has a unique culture and isn't ready for democracy anyway. One-party rule is the way to go, as long as that party is the Communist Party. I mean, when I think of all the Chinese people had to suffer during the Opium War, what right does the US have to issue resolutions telling China to stop the genocide of Falun Gong practitioners? Did I mention Iraq? Plus, I'm not even sure Taiwan is real. I mean, think of all the great things the Chinese government has done, like Snoopy Babe. So fluffy? Excuse me. If you're wondering what all that was about, that was just a small sampling of some of the comments I've received on China Uncensored. You see, the battleground of the future will not be waged on the land, the seas, or in the sky, but on the internet. And the Chinese government wants to dominate. They have an entire army devoted to this. I'm not talking about the typical cyber warfare of hacking, planting viruses, etc. This is a war for your mind, and the army is the 50-cent Brigade. Essentially, they're professional trolls. Their job is to scan social forums online and course-correct any conversation that might be veering away from the party line. According to a leaked propaganda directive, should that happen, their job is to steer the conversation into safer waters using any one of these 6 different points. They get paid about 50 Chinese cents per post, hence 50-cent Brigade. And when I say they're an army, I mean it. There are already hundreds of thousands in the rank of the 50-cent Brigade, and according to a report last week by state-run Beijing News, the Chinese government currently employs another 2 million people whose only job is to troll through websites both inside and outside of China and monitor what the public is saying about the regime. That's more than the entire People's Liberation Army, which only has 1.5 million members. And keep in mind, that is the world's largest standing army. So how can you spot these guys? Well, if you're in the comments section and you see anyone talking along these 6 points, I don't know, maybe their profile picture is the Communist Party flag, and they're on any social media platform that's banned in China, like YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, there's a good chance they're being paid. And not being paid all that much, considering they're selling out their fellow Chinese. Reuters actually interviewed 4 former Sino Weibo censors who said the conditions as 50-cent Brigade are pretty terrible. You have 12-hour days going through at least 3,000 posts an hour, and you make under $500 a month. Who would accept such a terrible job? Well, mostly people in their 20s, fresh out of university. In 2012, the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences did a survey and found that 24% of graduates couldn't find jobs. A survey conducted of 2,000 students found only 30% were confident they would even be able to find a job. Disenfranchised youth can be a pretty big catalyst for social change, Tiananmen protests. Unless they're so desperate for work, you can hire a few million of them to keep all the other ones in line. The Chinese regime has been cracking down hard on the internet lately, going so far as to promise 3 years in jail for spreading rumors online. A 16-year-old kid was the first detained under the new law. But the party is a master of propaganda and soft power, so it knows that the best way to keep people in line is to go in and delete any critical thoughts before they can even pop up. So if you're a foreigner, you can't criticize the Chinese Communist Party because you've never been to China, you can't understand it, and your government probably has done bad things, so you as an individual can't care about whatever brutal crackdowns the regime suffers upon the Chinese people. And if you're overseas Chinese, you can't make criticisms because then you're betraying your country. And by your country, I mean the regime that suppresses Chinese people and doesn't like it when people try to speak up on behalf of the Chinese people. But to all of you in the 50-cent Brigade, let me just tell you this. Okay, here's how we're going to do it. I keep making these videos, you guys can post on them and we split the money 50-50, okay? So what do you guys think? Leave your comments below. And you can check out China Uncensored's Facebook and Twitter page for more. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.